Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Match preview time. Is Ipswich next up in the Premier League. 6 Premier League games to go only. Only 6 Premier League games to go. And first up, it's Ipswich. Now, last time against Brentford, the game between the Real Madrid games, I said I literally don't care about that game. And that was the truth. I wanted us to win, yes, but I was like, nah, just rest the players and need to be rested. Now, heading into this game, I feel a little bit different because of two reasons. One, Newcastle are on a crazy win streak. They're winning 4-1, 5-0, 4-0 every single week now. And at this moment, we were looking at Nottingham Forest, but Newcastle is only 4 points behind us now. And if you mess up and not beat Ipswich, Newcastle beat Aston Villa this week, it could easily be 2-3 points behind us, maybe even 1 point behind us. And we are going to play Newcastle before the end of the season, and we all know how that usually goes. I feel like we've played Newcastle 10 times this season and we've lost all of them, and we're also going to play them again, by the way, in pre-season. So in the next 2-3 months, we're going to play Newcastle another 2 times. But considering that game against Newcastle there, if we've beaten PSG in the Champions League semi-final, I would want everyone rested for that Newcastle game. I wouldn't even want anyone to play that game. So they would have a better chance of beating us. So that would probably mean they're going ahead of us, which we cannot let happen. So these next 2 games coming up are very important against Ipswich and Crystal Palace. That is the first reason. Second reason, I need us to keep building momentum. Now, it doesn't look like we're going to get it this season. I've asked for Arsenal to win 5 games in a row this season. We've not managed to do it since August. But we need momentum, We've played really well against Real Madrid, but we don't want it again to be like, Everton and Brentford, where we come back to the league and it's another, 0-0, 1-1, and now we can't just draw every single game until the end of the season. We need to pick up some wins, and it's very important for any players, if we do some rotation, it's very important for any players who are coming into the team to at least perform. You never know. You're going into the Champions League semi-final. If you perform well, that could be opportunity. For example, in midfield, Partey is not going to be there against PSG. Jorginho might not be there against PSG. This is an opportunity for someone to shine. Imagine Zinchenko plays against Ipswich in that midfield spot and he puts up a 10 out of 10 performance. You're like, okay, could we actually use him there and move right to the number 6? That is just an example, something that could happen. Nwaneri, if he performs well in these 2 games coming up, you could say, okay, Odegaard, if you don't play well, 58th minute, you're subbed off. Nwaneri is coming on against PSG. Such things could happen. So I need players to perform. But it's Ipswich, and I think this is the perfect game to have right after those tough games against Real Madrid. This is the perfect game to have. Those games were challenging mentally and, I'm sure physically, emotionally, being in our first Champions League semi-final since 2009. We still can't believe it probably up until now. So it's Ipswich next up. Now, Ipswich are not going to just play easily. They're currently 18th. They are how many points behind Wolves and West Ham? They're 14 points behind West Ham and Wolves. After this game, there'll be 5 games to go, 15 points to fight for. So if West Ham win and Wolves win their games, and West Ham are playing Southampton, they're going to win. And Wolves are playing United. I don't know how much United are going to be focused on that game. If both of them win and Ipswich lose against us, they're relegated. So they're going to play with all their might over the weekend, and it's not going to be easy. And on top of that, Ipswich do score goals, actually. So yes, we can't rotate the whole team. I think Ipswich, the last 10 games, they've scored in 9 of them, and they've played like good teams. They scored at Anfield against Liverpool. They scored twice last week against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They scored twice at Old Trafford against Man United. I'm sure they scored twice against Nottingham Forest, and they lost 4-2. Can I remember any others? They have been scoring goals. They've scored in the last 10 games, they've scored in 9 of them. So they do score goals. And recently, we haven't really been able to keep too many clean sheets. So I would expect Ipswich to score, especially if we rotate and all that. I expect them to score. So it's a game where we'll need a couple of goals to win the game. Now, do I think we'll win the game? Yes. Do I think we'll actually perform well in this one? Yes. Do I actually think we'll get the goals and good performances from the rotation players? Yes, I think we will. So hopefully that is the case. Hopefully it's not another dull 0-0 or 1-1 draw. No, we need to win games. And the next 2 games are the 2 of the out of the next 6 games remaining. Southampton is probably the easiest at the end of the season. But the next 5, Ipswich and Crystal Palace, are the easier ones, because after this, it's Liverpool away. They might have won the title by then. There's Newcastle at home. Newcastle will be fighting for top 4, so they'll play with a lot of strength. And Bournemouth can still be competing for Europe at that time. So all of those games will be tough. So let's create a buffer where we know, okay, we are like 6-7 points ahead of third, heading into those Liverpool and Newcastle games. So hopefully we do see something. The last time we played with Ipswich, I think it was December, it was a 1-0 win. I remember that game. I think it was Havertz scoring, and then we just couldn't score a second one. That could have been the time that I was like, oh man, I don't know where the goals are going to come from. That's the first time I started thinking, oh, if we can only score 1 goal against Ipswich, yes, it's a win. A win is a win, but we were really struggling to break down teams, and it's been affecting us even before that and after that a lot of times. So I think that's the same period. Maybe we were playing against Everton as well at home. We were really struggling to score goals during that period. So it's a must-win game. It's a must-win game. Build momentum, create that buffer between you and Newcastle, and I guess delay Liverpool's title win for another week. They'll win the league probably next week. They're playing Leicester. They'll smash Leicester this week. But if we lose a Liverpool win, they're going to win the title this weekend as well. So for pride, let's just win their games. Let them win the title by themselves. Let's not just give it to them. Or they've already given it to them a lot this season. So which kind of lineup would I go for, and how many players would I rest? That is the important question. So if you look at the squad that we had against which game did we play last time? We played against Brentford. It was a 1-1 draw. And before that, it was Everton. So against Everton, for example, we rested players like Odegaard and Saka. They came on in the second half. And against Brentford, I'm sure Merino's on the bench. Did Saka start? I can't even remember. And this just chose not to load up. Let me confirm the lineup for the Brentford game. So what I'm trying to do is the players who were rested against Brentford can start this one, but the players who started against Brentford and against Everton, I'll be looking for a place to rotate them. And we are playing our next game against Crystal Palace in midweek. We're not actually going to wait all the way until over the weekend. That's actually a good thing for us. We are going to rest over the weekend because Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, so that game is going to be earlier. So that is actually a good thing for us. So we can't have players starting both. You can't start like Saka in this one and start him against Crystal Palace or Timber. We can't be doing that. We have to rest a few players here and there. Maybe the ones who get rested against Brentford or against Ipswich, maybe they can start against Crystal Palace. So let's see how that one goes. The lineup does not want to load up, but against Ipswich, for me, I would definitely rest Saka. Saka doesn't start for me for sure against Ipswich. He's not really needed. Against Crystal Palace, he can start, play 60 minutes, but against Ipswich this weekend, no, keep him on the bench. Timber, I don't want to see Timber in this game as well. Those are the 2 major ones that I don't want to play. And 3 is Rice. So Rice can start against Crystal Palace, but this one, for me, I'd rest. So my lineup, this is what my lineup is. So in defense, I've gone for Ben White at right back, Timber at left back, Kiwior and Saliba at centre back. Obviously, David Raya in goal. Now, Saliba, I will rest him against Crystal Palace, though I'll find a way to rest him because he's very important now without Gabriel. So that is my back 4. Timber, just rest him. Midfield, Partey plays now because he's suspended for the PSG game anyway. And then address Declan Rice and start Zinchenko and Odegaard. So I'm still keeping Partey and Odegaard. I'm only resting Declan Rice from that midfield. Zinchenko starts as the 8. And then last time Zinchenko started as a 10. I think Odegaard was rested. And then up front, Nwaneri on the right side. Saka doesn't play for me. Trossard up front. And Sterling hasn't gotten a start for a long time. So I'd give him a start in this one. And this is still a team that is capable of, scoring a few goals against Ipswich. And then if you look at the bench, Neto, Lewis Kelly, Timber, Merino, Rice, Saka, Martinelli, Butler, Deji. Now, Saka and Martinelli worked really hard against Real Madrid. So I want them to be rested. But I would not have a problem if Lewis Kelly started. I would not have a problem if Merino started. I'd not even have a problem if Martinelli started. The ones I really want to be rested in order, Saka, Timber, Rice. Those are the 3 that I really want to be rested for this game. But the next game against Crystal Palace, I am resting Saliba for that one. And then if you just want to play the normal first team, because it's still going to be 1 week before the PSG game, that is fine. But just rest for me those 3 players for this game. And then listen, at halftime, second half, we can still take off. We can still bring on maybe Martinelli, no problem. You can still bring on Merino, no problem. You can bring on a Lewis Kelly, no problem. I'd also like to see Butler Yedeji even getting 5 minutes if you have won the game. So I think we'll have won the game. And that is my lineup. Hopefully that is not too much rotation. I'm still starting Partey. I'm still starting Odegaard. I'm still starting Kivio, Saliba, Raya. I'm still starting all of these players. Odegaard is there. So yeah, I'm still starting. I'm not like going with Butler, Yedeji, and Kabi, and Kakuri, and no, I'm not just going with youngster. No, this is still a respectable team. Now, my prediction for the game, I think we'll win it. I think we'll get a big win in this one. They have also been conceding a lot of goals. They conceded 3 times against United. They conceded 4 against Nottingham Forest, and this was at home. Yeah, they conceded a lot of goals. So I think they'll score, as I said. I think this will be, we've not won too many games by a lot of goals in the Premier League this season. I remember we won against Nottingham at home, West Ham away, Man City at home. Those were big results. I think we're going to pick another big result in this one. We haven't been seeing them a lot this year. Last year we saw them a lot between February, March, April. We were beating Burnley, Sheffield, Chelsea, 5-6 goals. So I'm going to go for Ipswich 1, Arsenal 4-1 win for Arsenal. I'm going to go for hopefully Trossard to get in the score sheet. Odegaard, please. I need Odegaard to score a goal somewhere. I'm not going to rest Odegaard because I need him to get some form. He's not been playing great at all this season. And hopefully Sterling can get his first Premier League goal for us. So let's go Odegaard, Trossard, Sterling, and maybe Martinelli off the bench. Let's go with those 4 players to score. Odegaard, Trossard, Martinelli, Sterling. 4-1 to Arsenal. Sterling to get his first Arsenal goal. That will be a great way to go into the Crystal Palace game. Then you rest Saliba for me, and I'll be a very, very happy guy. Let me know your prediction. Let me know your starting lineup. Let me know which players you're going to rest, or do you just want a fast team? Let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.